Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. If you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to my channel. So today's video is just going to be a little simple like question and answer kind of video. I didn't ask you guys for questions obviously, but I found some interesting questions online and I actually came up with a few myself, and I was just going to answer a few and name this like random questions from a bowl, but I wanted to answer all the questions, and I felt like if I said it was random questions that I would only be able to answer a few, because if I answered all of them they wouldn't be random. So I'm gonna stop rambling now and get to the questions. So these are some kind of like embarrassing, juicy, fun questions that I kind of found online. So let's go ahead and dig right on in. The first question is, oh my gosh, starting it off hot right out of the gate. The first question is, what's the most unusual place you've had sex? I've had sex in a few unusual places. Let's see, by the lake, on the side of the road, in the car, in a tent, where else? Those are the only places I can think of, but yeah. Okay, moving on. Let's see. What turns you on and what turns you off? Oh my gosh, 2 sexual questions in a row. Turn-ons are pretty eyes, a pretty smile. I have a thing for like men's arms. I don't know why, but I always notice a man's arms. Turn-offs are like cockiness, just like being obsessed with yourself and thinking that you're like amazing and God's gift to the world. And also, I don't like really muscular guys. Like, I do like muscles, but when you're like huge, like busting out, I don't like that. And I don't like super muscular legs, especially. Like, I like, muscular arms and a good chest. But these like weird, I don't even know how to explain it, just the super cut muscular legs just kind of like gross me out. So I don't really like that. Let's see, what is next? I keep getting all the sex questions. What is your body count? So, this is, just gonna say it. I lost my virginity in 2012 when I was 18 years old. So in the last 8 years, I have been with 14 or 15 men. And a lot of people will say, oh, that's not a lot. There's plenty of people out there who's been with tons more. And yeah, I know. I'm not ashamed of my past, but I obviously don't broadcast it. But I have been with a few people, and you know what? At the end of the day, it's okay. Next question. Please don't be a sexual one. Okay, here we go. What are your worst habits? I bite my nails a lot. I'm trying to get out of that. I have a really bad habit. Sorry, guys. Knocked my camera down, or my phone. I have a really bad habit of being lazy and procrastinating. I don't really like cleaning and doing housework, so I will put it off and put it off and put it off for as long as I possibly can, and it bugs the crap out of Tyler, and he will nag me. Not really nag me, but he'll be like, hey, that needs to be done. Can you, do that? And I do need to get better about doing that because it's bad. And I'm a grown adult. I need to stop being so lazy. I have my own apartment. I'm not living with my parents anymore. It's not their responsibility. It's mine. So that's probably my worst habits, especially that last one. What is your most and least favorite part of your body? Okay, let's start with the negative first. Least favorite part would be my nose. I feel like my nose is so big. It doesn't look that bad right now, but when I take pictures, I feel like my nose is huge. And then I'm not going to show it, but I have gained a little bit of weight since Tyler and I have been together, and I just don't like the extra belly fat that I have. I'm not like super self-conscious about it, but I don't like it. And like certain clothes that I used to wear a lot that I love don't really fit me right anymore, and it's really unsettling. It's really upsetting when your clothes don't fit you anymore. So what kids movie do you still watch over and over? I love cartoon movies. I love kids movies. My favorite Disney movie is Hercules, so I definitely watch that a lot. When I used to live at home and I would just sit and watch Netflix a lot, if I couldn't find anything that I wanted to watch, my usual like go-to movies that I would just watch because I couldn't find anything else were Hercules and The Emperor's New Groove. So I love those movies. And a lot of the older Disney movies like Little Mermaid, Hercules, I really like Moana and Coco and Frozen. I just love cartoon movies, so I don't really watch them all over and over again, but if I had to say which one I watch over and over again, it'd probably be Hercules, because that's my absolute favorite. So the next question is, what's your most embarrassing memory? Here we go. So I have two. And I guess I'll start with the least embarrassing one. To me. I mean, you can be the judge of it if you want to. I used to work at Publix, and they were advertising for, like, they were doing a sale on their chicken. So my manager came up to me one day and is like, "Hey, I need a chicken." And I was like, "Okay." I thought he wanted me to go back to the meat department and get him a chicken. So I was like, "Okay." No, that is not what he meant. He needed someone to put on a chicken suit, put on a sandwich board, and stand at the intersection near the store to advertise the chicken sale. And that lucky person was me. And to top it all off, it was a windy day, so my sandwich board was flying up in the air, spinning around. The strings that were holding it up were getting twisted. I was having to try and hold it. It was a whole big mess, and that was embarrassing. The second story that's really embarrassing for me is when Tyler and I were just dating. This was about a year ago, little over a year ago. I was at his house, and I was feeling really bad sick, like terribly nauseous, like just horrible. And so I get up to go to the bathroom, and I get sick. I'm sitting on the floor throwing up, and then all of a sudden I feel it. I pooped my pants. And it was so embarrassing. I had to like clean myself up, and luckily I had some other pants there with me that I could change into. I like put my old pants in a bag and threw them away. It was just very embarrassing, and I hate that happened, but I guess it happens. It happens to the best of us, and I couldn't help that I got sick. But Tyler was really great about it. He went in there and like disinfected and kind of cleaned up behind me and just took care of me the rest of the day. He wasn't like, "Ah, ha, ha, you pooped yourself, ha, ha, ha." He was real nice about it, and I felt really bad. So there you go. That's out there. Moving on. Oh, this is a good one. If you could go back in time and erase one thing you said or did, what would it be? And I know the answer to that one. I can't really say I regret having Tinder at one point, because I did meet, some cool people in there, and I had fun, and I would download it when I was bored and just didn't have anything to do. But that is how I met one of my exes. And if I could go back and change one thing, I would definitely not talk to him at all. I would not let him into my life, and I would just pass him on over, because it was bad. I mean, we had some good moments, but it just was not worth the BS that he put me through. And I will be making some story time videos about all of my ex-boyfriends and the drama that I have had in the past with men, because I have a lot of stories to tell. So, but I would definitely, if I could change one thing about my past, it would definitely be him. I would just take him right out, because 99% of him and his family are just negative. So I could do without him. Next question. Do you sing in the shower? Sometimes. I'm very scared, very like stage fright. So if I sing in the shower, it's because I'm home alone. So I usually don't sing in the shower if Tyler's home and he can hear me, even though he loves my singing voice, even though like he loves it when I sing. I don't know. I just, if I'm home by myself and I get in the shower, especially here lately, I've been doing a lot of singing in the shower. Do you do anything weird in your sleep? I have been told a couple of times that I talk. But I don't really think that's true. I have been told a few times that I snore, but I do drool in my sleep. Like, I'll wake up the next morning and I'll be drooling. I don't know why I did that, but I do drool a little bit in my sleep. But that's about it. Nothing too crazy. I do have family members, my brother and my dad, that do talk in their sleep, and it's very funny. Oh, and Tyler snores a lot. So, there's that. If you could change your name, what would you change it to? Let's see, look at myself. I kind of like the name Natalie. I think I kind of look like a Natalie. And then I also like the name Vanessa. I think I could pull that name off. What do you guys think? If I wasn't Stephanie, what would I be? Comment below. Next question. Oh, by the way, I have 25 questions. And we are on... This is question 12. So we're about halfway there. Did you have an imaginary friend growing up? No, I did not. I think, here's another embarrassing little story. I think I had an imaginary friend for like a day. But no, nothing like that. Here we go with the sex questions again. What's an awkward sex story? Let me think. Awkward sex story. Okay. One of my ex-boyfriends and I were in his living room. He lived with his mother at the time. No, it's not Tyler. It's of course it's not Tyler. I said an ex-boyfriend. So we were fooling around in the living room on the couch, and we heard someone starting to come in. And so, of course, he's kind of like between my legs. And so he like jumps up. We're like trying to rearrange ourselves so it's not obvious we were fooling around. We weren't like full on having sex, but we were like, I guess, starting to, or like foreplay, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it, but we were like fooling around and about to like start having sex. And so I go to like throw my foot over his head to like sit next to him, and I kick him right in the side of the head. No, I know I have more. I hooked up with this one guy a few times, and I don't know if I don't think it was the first time we hooked up, but one of the times that we hooked up, afterwards we were sitting there. We were sitting on the bed. I was sitting there, and he was kind of like laying in front of me, and we were just like chilling. And he just randomly, out of nowhere, said, "So I've been with a guy before." Out of nowhere. And I'm totally cool with people's sexual preferences. If you like that, go for it. Let your freak flag fly. But I just thought, it just took me completely by surprise that he just randomly told me that he has been with a man before. And so that was kind of awkward, just telling me out of nowhere. I'm pretty sure I have more awkward stories, but those are the only ones that come to mind at the moment, and I don't want to spend too much time trying to think of them. So I'm just going to move on to the next question. these up a little bit more. What is one thing you want to do but haven't gotten around to? I really want to write a full story. Like, I want to write a story, like a novel almost. Like, I want to write a book. I would love to get a book published, but I just don't see that happening. But I would love to write a complete story from beginning to end and like finish it, like be completely done. I love to write stories. I love writing, and I want to get back into it, and I really need to. What is your guilty pleasure? I don't know why I picked this question, because I never know the answer to it. Because I like so many things, but I'm not guilty about it. That's the thing. Justin Bieber used to be my guilty pleasure because I like his music a lot. I have no idea. I really don't know. Can't think of anything that I'm like guilty about. So, sorry for the terrible answer to that generic question. Moving on. If you had a baby right now, what would his or her name be? So Tyler and I have actually discussed baby names for the future, and I know that I want to name my daughter after my mom. Her name was Melody Michelle, and I want to, use her name as the child's middle name, and I couldn't think of anything that goes with Melody. Excuse me. So I decided to use Michelle. So if I ever have a daughter, her middle name will be Michelle. So as of right now, oh, and then for the boy, if I have a son, I want to name him after Tyler, and Tyler's middle name is Ray. So Michelle for a girl, Ray for a boy. So as of right now, if I was to have a baby right now, I would name a girl Olivia Michelle and a boy Daniel Ray. I just really like those names, and Tyler is in love with the name Olivia. Ever since I suggested it, he loves it, and he won't accept anything else. So, excuse me. I don't know where that cough came from all of a sudden. Next question. What's one thing on your bucket list? I'd really like to visit all 50 states. I haven't been to very many states, but I would love to at least go to all 50 states at least once. So, I don't have a lot of bucket list things, but I definitely want to try and visit all the states. I highly doubt I'll ever make it out of the country, but if I can at least visit the states, that'll be fine. What is next? What would you do with $1 million? Oof, so much. I would buy a house. I'm perfectly happy with my car now, so I don't need to buy a new car. I would, what else would I do? I would love to start a business. Like, the only reason I haven't started a business by now is because the money. It takes money to, like, buy a location, do construction and renovations, advertising, so many things that goes into it. So I would start a business. I don't know what kind of business, because there's so many ideas that I've had, but I would love to start a business. Buy a house, start a business, do some things for my family and my parents, my siblings. I would probably move my brother back down here. Him and his girlfriend live in North Carolina, and I would like get them a place down here so they could move back home, get them a car that actually works and won't give them problems, because they constantly have issues with their car, unfortunately, and don't really have the means to get a better car. So I would do that for them, and I'd try to put as much back as I can for future, for my children, etc. So I would try not to blow too much. I'd try to be frugal about it. So, but who knows? How old were you when you had your first drink? 17. I started drinking when I was 17. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty much cut and dry. here we go. Have you ever been dumped? What was the reason? Well, first of all, like I said, I will be making videos about my past relationships, so these things will be addressed in those videos too. But literally every single relationship I've had has been ended by the other person, except for the very first relationship, like serious relationship I had. In the end, I ended the relationship, and I'll get into that later on, because that was a long distance relationship, and you know, so he actually broke up with me because we broke up once and then got back together. So he broke up with me. I don't really remember why. The other one, he broke up with me 3 or 4 times. One time he broke up with me because we got into a fight and I punched the wall, and he said that was disrespecting him and his house, so he broke up with me. Second time he broke up with me because I was working with a man that I had previously had relations with, and he got mad about that and dumped me. The third time he broke up with me because we were at a concert and another man bumped into him, and he got mad at me because I didn't see it. And apparently I'm ignorant because I didn't see something that happened behind me. And then the fourth time and last time we broke up, he broke up with me because I didn't do any cleaning at home before I went to work. And apparently I was driving his car all over town. But I wasn't. And then the next one, he broke up with me after about a month or so because he wanted to sleep with other women. He didn't want to sleep with just me. So basically he didn't want to commit. And then the last one before Tyler, he broke up with me because he had trust issues. He just thought I was lying to him and thought that I was interested in one of his friends. So he was kind of paranoid. But anyway, moving on. I have, 5 more questions, and this video is already almost 23 minutes long, so I need to get through this quickly. I don't want it to be too long because you guys won't want to stick around if it's too long. What's the worst thing you've done while drunk? Apparently I almost hooked up with my friend's roommate, and if that had happened, I would have been incredibly embarrassed. So thankfully, he saved me from doing that. Next question. Why did your last relationship end? And I pretty much already touched on that because he was paranoid. He thought I was like lying and cheating and like who knows what. I'll get into more detail in the video that I'm gonna make about that relationship, so I can get more in depth about what happened. Have you ever done drugs? God, I hope my family doesn't watch this video. But yes, I have. I have smoked pot a few times. I did shrooms once, and then I one time did a tiny bump of cocaine. I don't know if that's smart to talk about that on YouTube, but I'm just going to say it that one time. We're not going to go into detail about, my past escapades. But yeah, I did that one time. It was just a tiny little, I don't know why I sniffed, but it was just a tiny little hit, nothing too crazy, and I didn't like it, so I don't do any kind of drugs now. I don't smoke. I don't really even drink anymore, so that was a long time ago. All right, what is your biggest pet peeve? I hate being ignored. I hate being interrupted and talked over. I think that's pretty much it. Those are my biggest ones. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I also hate phobic people, I guess you could say, bigots, racists, homophobia, transphobia, those things, but I don't want to get into all that. into too much detail. But yeah, I do really dislike people who hate on other people because they're different. That's a big pet peeve of mine. Like, just shut up and go on about your day. Forget about it. And the last question, which is not, I was kind of hoping to end it on kind of a juicy note, but unfortunately, it's not really that like juicy of a question. It's just, how many kids do you want to have in the future? And honestly, I just want 2. Like, if I could just have 1 boy and 1 girl, I would be perfectly fine. It probably won't end up that way. I'll probably have like 2 or 3. I mean, 2 or 3. I'll probably end up either having more than 2, or I'll probably end up having like twins, or I'll have 2 boys or 2 girls. Who knows? But I mean, at least 1. I mean, I at least want 1 kid, but preferably 2. Preferably 1 boy and 1 girl, and then that's it. I don't want to have more than 2 children. So, but yeah, that's it for the questions. I know this is probably kind of a like lame video to do, but you know, it was kind of last minute and I thought it'd be fun to just find some juicy questions and answer them for you guys. If you have any like fun questions that you'd like me to answer, if you have anything you want to know, or any like stories you'd like me to tell, anything that you would like to see on this channel, please be sure to comment it below, because I am very open to suggestions and requests, and I would love to hear your ideas. I definitely want to give you guys what you want to see, and I definitely want like more people gravitating to this channel. I want to grow this channel and have fun with it, so definitely leave me some comments below and let me know what you think, what you'd like to see, anything like that. If you want to like answer some of these questions, you know, tell me some of your fun stories, anything like that. I would love to see your comments below. I will respond to them all. Like, DM me on Instagram if you have some stories to share, if you have any ideas, anything at all. All of my socials will be in the description below, and I will see you next week for another fun video. Bye guys.